You have learned well, my dear student. Now, this is going to be the most difficult exercise. Like I told you, you can't stand in the sunlight. And it might seem cruel or sad, but humans are a lot of fun at night. A lot more fun than the humans that live day to day. The morning is the time of going to work. The morning is the time of people rushing to go nowhere. But at night humans are truly free. Look at them. Look at them outside in their cars, spending their days just waiting and going somewhere and waiting and going somewhere and waiting. No fun. No life, really. This is no longer you. I freed you from all of this. Freed you from being a slave. Today's test is a special one. For the first time since you've got here, you will look outside with me. You will look at all the cars passing by, at the sunlight, at the people, and you will not join them. The reason why I'm doing this, it's because you are still human deep inside. You're no longer a human, but your emotions are still there, but not for long. This exercise is to rip out the bandage. They did it to me when I became a vampire, although back then, standing on your balcony looking down was a lot more sad than it is now. You could see children playing, parents buying things at the market. You know, life. Now when you look down, it's just cars. Each one has a human inside, but they might as well be a robot. They're all just kind of dead in those tin cans. But this is a world you're not part of anymore. You're part of a better world now. A world where you can be happy. Free. You don't even need, money because you don't need to eat. Well, you still need to eat, but you get what I mean. Look at them. Look at all of them. Wasting their lives 1 second at a time. I am immortal, and so are you, and I still feel myself aging just looking at them. Humans were not built for a life like this. Stressed out all the time. You see some people who are 30, 40, they look like they're 80. It's a travesty. When I was a young man, there wasn't a lot of old people around. The oldest man I knew when I was a child was around 60 years old, and he told me that his biggest regret was that he worked. Do you know how much he worked? What a hard worker was back then? Someone who toiled the field for 5 hours a day. Now humans spend 8 locked in a building doing nothing, pushing paper around. Isn't that a horrible world? Humans can be so much fun too. But they're not allowed to have fun. The day belongs to the owners, to the rich people. But the night just like before, just like when I was young. The night belongs to poor people. And let me tell you something, rich people, they don't know how to party. But poor people, now they know how to have some fun. They know how to live a real life, unlike the rich ones. They live in the real world with us. And that's when we strike. You see, you need to eat every day. But your organs, like your stomach and your guts, they are non-functional. It comes with being immortal. If your organs functioned correctly, the tissue would wither away over time. But as a vampire, you don't need to eat and you don't need to drink. What you do need is blood. But what kind of blood? You need blood that is carrying around the nutrients that will keep you alive. You can eat somewhat, but I would not recommend it. And you don't really need to eat anymore, so the need to eat inside of your brain will quickly go away. Vampires can, quote unquote, starve to death. You don't really die, but you turn more into a zombie as your brain doesn't have enough juice to continue functioning. You will not die, you will simply stop existing as your brain gets wiped. And we don't want that now, do we? For the major part of our friendship, I have fed you blood bags. Those blood bags were human blood. It is the best that you can find because it is perfect for you. As long as the human is healthy, if they're not sick, the blood helps you keep you alive. But now you need to learn how to feed yourself. And that will be a little bit more difficult. Now, don't worry. I'm not going to make you kidnap anyone. Most of the time, when you bite someone, it's not enough saliva to turn them into a zombie nor a vampire. So, sometimes you can feed on a person once, twice, thrice, and they won't even know it. So don't worry, it's nothing like murder or anything like that. Far from it. Rather, it is getting over the mental blockade of drinking blood that can be rather difficult. So, for your first exercise, we're going to practice on some animals. Animal blood is not the best, but you need to practice. I'm not going to bring in a young woman for you to feed on just yet. Maybe in the future, but not yet. My hope is that soon enough you'll be able to be strong enough to come with me outside at night. There's still many things I need to teach you about navigating human society. And ironically, the hardest part is being natural, acting human. It gets very difficult, especially when things change so fast. If you were to talk like someone from the 50s right now, people will get very suspicious. Especially if you only show up at night. But I'll teach you everything. Don't worry, I will teach you everything. Now, I think it's time for you to turn into a vampire. a little bit more. Now, show me your neck. See? Doesn't it feel better to be a good girl and do what you're told? Now it will sting just a little bit, just like always.